Today's lecture, we will see about the project communication plan, and one topic is the matrix, the organization matrix. Okay, the first we will cover the topic. It is a project communication plan. Now, for any project, when we are defining the project, when we are planning the project, after that one there is the execution part. When you are executing or when you are planning continuously, you need to communicate with the different people. Now in project, it is not only the single person that is the project manager to work. So there are the number of people are involved in that project, depend on what type of the organization structure it is. Okay, whether it is a functional organization, whether it is a pure organization and all. So here the communication is very important. When you are executing the plan, when you are executing that process, that time continuously you have to take a feedback. You have to take monitoring the things, controlling the things, and continuously you have to communicate with your upper people as well as to your lower people. Whatever be the decision that is taken in the meeting, that should be percolate in the lower side, and whatever be the problems or some difficulties which are facing, they have to communicate with the upper side as well as how much is the work is done, whether it is as per the planning is going on or not. So everything you have to communicate. Now each and everything is not need to communicate to each and everyone. Just like if if I would like to give the example, that is if say I have to give the instructions to the roll number 5. Now it is not the matter that I have to communicate with everybody, that yes, this is the matter. So the person or the team which you want to communicate should properly how to communicate with only that people, because the concern matter is to that only that particular team members. Okay, same here in the project communication. So let's look what are the happen in the project communication. The one is it is once the project deliverables and work are clearly identified. So after we structuring the team, we clearly identify the work, and following up with the internal communication plan is vital. So once you structure out, means the WBS, work breakdown structure, you identify the tasks, you identify the activities. Now you are giving the responsibility to each and every team, to the people, to the person. Okay. Now you need to have a internal communication plan. It means the person who have appointed for a particular task, then whom he has to communicate, that is very important. So the person to be communicate with the that department only. He is not communicate to the other, because you have to properly give the communication plan, that you have to report this person. Just like when you are an engineer, where is the reporting? You're reporting to your boss. Now boss is what? Either the boss may be the general manager, it may be the manager, but again it is to be given to you that this person is your boss and you have to communicate each and everything to that person. Okay, so here the internal communication plan is very important while doing or execution of the project. Second, if there is a poor communication, now what happens if we are not doing the planning of communication? Then a poor communication has a major contributor to project failure. Means if the person is doing work very well, okay, no problem, but he has some difficulties they are facing, and he don't know where to communicate, whom to say that this is the problems are facing, or these are the things are happening. So what to do? So the lack of communication is the very difficult. It is very difficult to achieve the project. Similarly, just like always, I am giving the example of your BTech project. Okay, when your final year project, if you are not communicate to your team members, if you are not communicate to your guide, then definitely it is not possible for you to achieve that project, because continuously communication is very important. Whatever be the matter that you are taken, whatever the decision that you have taken, whatever be the result that you got, you have to communicate, so that the whether it is right or wrong, that will be the one thing that you get a solution. Second is you get something new, because when you are discussing, when you are communicating, definitely you will get something new, or whatever be the things which is going wrong, you can easily break that part, and you can start a new things too. Okay, so this is very important, that communication. But if it is a poor communication, then definitely there is a more chances of a project to be failure. Third point in the project communication is the communication plan is usually created by the project manager. Now, who is created the communication plan? The mostly it is a project manager or project team. Either the project manager or the project team is just make the communication plan, and they are saying that this is to be reporting, whom to reporting. Okay, just like whom to reporting for what. Communication is the key component in the coordinating and tracking the project schedule, issues, and the actions. As I said, it is the key component. Communication is the key component in coordinating. Means many times what happened, the one team required a help from the other team. Now the person or the team who want a help and the team which is to be help that person. Now obviously there should be a communication that the person team who want the help has to communicate to that person team or the person that we need a help. Otherwise that team doesn't know that whether you require a help or not. So that is the one thing. Coordination is very important. Tracking the project schedule, this is also the important part, because many times some activities may be lacking. In that case we have to follow our schedule, follow our planning. Okay, and for that one definitely we need to do a communication with the project manager. We have to communicate with the engineers who is the leader of our team, or we have to communicate with the top management. But yes, this is the chain that whom you have to reporting, you have to reporting to your the boss is what, your manager. Manager is reporting to the project manager, the project manager is reporting to the upper management. Okay, so this is the chain of it. The purpose of the project communication plan is to express what, who, how, and when to inform. Now, every time, whatever be the difficulties which you are facing, there is no need to communicate with your project manager. Okay, so just like you have a small problems that you are facing while executing something. Now, it is not need to that you have to communicate with the project manager. Yes, sir, this is happening. What to do? For that one, there is a leader, there is a you can take the responsibility of it. If it is not happened, then you can communicate. So that's why it is I say that what what to communicate, whom to communicate, how to communicate, and when to inform or communication. Okay, will be transmitted to the project stakeholders so that schedule, issues, and actions atom can be tracked, so it can be tracked easily. Okay, now every time that owner or the project manager is not taking the feedback from your side, so maybe from weekly you have to just give the updates, or 15 after 15 days you have to give the updates of the project. Okay, so no need to give the every time. So what, who, how, and when, that is very important in the project communication. The over communication is not a good habit. After that, we will see about the project communication plan address the following core questions. So what are the questions to be highlighted here? It is what information needs to be collected and when. Means if I am a project manager, now I should know what information need to be collected and when I have to collect the information. Just like I am not taking the each and every updates of that project every day or every hour. Now, if you are doing like that, then it is very difficult for the project manager to just get each and every updates, say hourly or day by day. Then it is not possible for him to know exactly what happening in that project, because you are not getting. If you get the daily updates, then it's very difficult. So again, it is very important that when what information needs to be collected, which information do you want? If you say there is a erection of the equipment or erection of the machine, and for that one you are taking the updates of the nuts and bolt of it of by the project manager, that is not your work. So you have to see what information do you want. It means, does that equipment comes on that site on that day on that time, and what is the planning, what is the information in the planning that when to erect that machine. So does the erection is going on, up to what it is going on, or does it as per the plan it is established or not. Now this is important for you. So when you are looking the planning scheduling part, and that time you say that on the 25th of March 2020 there should be erection of the machine. So once that day is over, then you can ask to the engineers who is appointed for that one, does that work is completed or not, or he has to communicate with the project manager. Yes, the work is done or work is not done. Partially it is fulfilled, partially it will be fulfilled tomorrow. So everything, but yes, which information and when to give. It's very important. Another is who will receive the information. Now this is also the important part. Who will receive that information when you are taking said yes, I need this information. Then who will take? That is the important part. What methods will be used to gather and store the information? This is also the important because when you're talking about the project, it is not a simple that you have the assignments and tutorials and you have to complete the 10 tutorials and you submit it to it. But look at the which methods you have to follow because there are number of informations are gathered. Okay, now if there are the number of Excel sheets come together on the one PC and the project manager and the now he want to sorting, so method is very important for it. Okay, so either he will take the some softwares use or he may be take some the updates monthly or weekly, especially the weekly they are taking the informations. Okay, and where to store the information, that is also the important because each and every information, some informations may be secret one, it is not to be disclosed to the everybody, it is to be up to the certain peoples. What are the limits if anyone who has access to certain kinds of information? What are the limits? This is again very important part. What are the limits if anyone who has access to certain kinds of information? As I said, everybody is not known everything about a project. Now, if some of the department that is not a part of him, but yes, he want a information because of something is happening wrong there in while executing that particular work, and now you have to give the information to him. Okay, and in that case again it is a decision of the project manager or a decision of that person who have that information. So whether that person to assess that information or not, and up to what limit you have to give the information. Okay, just like you are not giving the what is the balance in your account every day or everybody, it is not disclosable. Okay, because again there is a limitation, so we are not disclosing each and everything about us. Then when will the information be communicated? This is also the important. When will be the information to be communicated? As I said, every day or every hour you are not giving the information to the top of your boss. So if there is a time limit, a time plan, and accordingly you have to give the information or you have to communicate. How will it to be communicated? Now this is also the important. What is the structuring of you, whether you are emailing to that person or whether you have the softwares where you can update the things. Okay, so way of communication might be different, or sometimes you have to communicate after a day is completed. Okay, so depend on what the activity is going on, what type of the task and the 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 the, the task or the activities is going on, and accordingly you have to communicate. So media is might be the different one, but yes, we should know how will be it communicated. Means when you are doing a project planning, that time you have to clear cut mention each and everything. Okay, it is mentioned the project communication plan, the questions, the question what, who, what are the limits, when and how. So each and everything you have to define properly, and each team member and each persons to be communicate this plan, this is the planning, and accordingly you have to work. And because of that one, it is very easy to just achieve that project within a time limit. Again, I would like to give the example of your project that if your team members, the three persons and your guide, if you are having a good communication between the four people, and there is a actually there is if we have a planning that on Saturday or on Sunday we have to meet your guide, you have to communicate to your guide. On Friday you have to communicate to your team members. Okay, so if that is the planning in you that you plan properly, then definitely it will be no difficulty to achieve that target because you continuously monitoring and controlling the project as well as, and that will be the happen just because of you are communicating properly. Otherwise it is very difficult for you to achieve the things in the project one. It's very important, and for that one the project manager, they make a communication plan. So from the top management to the bottom of the worker, okay, everybody have to report to somebody, And if that structure is defined, then definitely they will follow the things. Okay. So this is all about the project communication plan. Okay. Now another topic from this module that we will learn is a project management organization structure. It is a project management organization structure. So we learn the WBS, work breakdown structure. We learn the matrix, okay, project matrix. We learn the project planning, project communication plan, and now the project organization structure. Now this is structure is again as we define the WBS. What is the work breakdown structure of it? We know the different activities. We know the person who is the expertise in that one, and now we have to structuring the team. So here the project management organization structure. So it is defined on the basis of the pure project organization. It may be the functional project organization, or it is the combination of these two. So let's look at what are that. So there are the three main types of the organization structure used in the project, which are that. Let's see. The one is we call the functional or pure line project organization. Okay. The second is a pure project organization, and the third is the matrix project organization. Okay. So what is the first one? It is the functional or pure line project organization. I will define each and everything. But yes, we can say the functional or pure line means the people or the person who is the functional manager, who is the departmental manager, he become a project manager. He is the leader of that task. Pure project organization, a separate team is to be appointed. That is called a pure project organization. And the matrix project organization, it is the combination of the functional as well as the pure project organization. Okay. So just remember these three: functional, pure, and matrix one. Let's look one by one what exactly it is. First, we will explain about the functional project organization. But before that, let's take the view of the characteristics of the project leader. What are the different characteristics of the project manager or the leader? Effective manager who is the experience in more than one functional area, work like a general manager, and keep track of how the certain critical tasks are done and coordinate as whole. So I'm taking this characteristic just because when you are structuring the functional organization, or when you are structuring the pure organization or the matrix one, the characteristics is very important. The one is the effective manager who is the experience in more than one functional area. If I'm talking about the functional organization structure, that time I have to choose that leader, that project manager who had a good experience in that one. And again, he has to work in a different departments. Work like a general manager. Obviously, he has that capacity, that characteristics to be as a general manager. Keep track how to certain critical task and done. So obviously, he have that much experience that he has to in the critical situation he can work properly, and he will give the guidance to the people who is under him. Because many times the workers and the leader, the difference is what leader is doing very well when it is a critical situation. Okay. Just like I would like to give the example of the cricket. If you say the Virat Kohli or you say the Dhoni, both are the captains. But when there is a critical situation, that time these leaders to be work very well. These peoples are work very well. Dhoni is very well in when he is in a pressure condition, or the Virat is doing very well when all the teams are just out and only that person is taking the leading, and he is to just win the match. So what he has that potential as a leader, because when that workers get failed, that time the leader give the proper the guidelines and to achieve the particular task. Okay. Quickly, we will look about the functional or the pure line project organization. Now, the functional or pure line organization. Here is the word line. Okay. Now, what are the key characteristics in the functional or the pure line project organization? Does not have a specific position of the project manager. The one thing is what? Does not have a specific position for the project manager. Now, the project manager is not fixed. PM be the line manager or the specialists who are aligned for a project for a particular time. Project divide into the partial tasks and delegated to the department. The team members continue to report to line director or upper manager. Now I explain one by one. Does not have a specific position for a project manager. It means the project manager is not fixed here. Let's take the example that you have to establish a chemical plant. Now in the chemical plant, who is doing a work in the designing? A chemical engineers, because it is a chemical plant and he know very well about the designing of the chemical plant. Now the person who is from the R&D, the person who is from the design department, the manager who is working that in that department be the project manager. So here the project manager, who is the project manager for the designing tasking, design of the task, design of the plant, it is the manager who is working in the department, that particular department. So up to the design part, that project manager become that manager become a project manager. And once the designing part is over, now there is say the construction of the building. Now here the persons we need from the civil department. Okay. Now who will become a project manager here? The person who is leading the civil department, the person who is leading the construction department become a project manager for that case. Means what is the first task? First task is the designing. Up to that period, one person who is leading that department will be the project manager. After that one, their work is over. Now go for the next one. Who is the civil department or the construction department person become a project manager. Once that is over, another person who is the electrical one, they are to looking about it. So as per the main tasking of the project, accordingly the project managers are changed. Okay, so that's why it is say the PM be the line manager or the specialist. Means the task which is to be done in that project be the a project manager. Okay, who are aligned for the project for a particular time period. Okay, that is the meaning. Third is project divide into partial tasks and delegated to the department. So sometimes what we do, we have to just divided the different tasks and the activities, and we say that yes, this is the department that you have to look this activity, another department look this one, the department look this one, like that one. Okay, the team members continue to report to the line director or upper manager. Now who is the team member here? The team member is the same which are working in that department, or sometimes the team members we take from the different department again to be work to the person who is leading that task or who is leading that task, just like a designing. Then we have to all the team members to be reported to the manager who is working in that department. Okay, with the help of the diagram you can easily understood what exactly mean by it. So these are the key characteristics of the functional one. Then the project team form within a functional unit, as I said. Now if I am a manager of one department, say department A, I'm become a manager. Now who is my team? My team is that who is working under me, because they are the expertise into completion of that task, just like a designing one, designing of the whole plant. Then as I am the leading person for that department, and obviously I'm taking the help of my team to work out it. So up to the certain time period, I become a project manager, and I am the team members, project teams is from my same unit, from my same department, especially. Nobody responsible for the entire project. Now, one of the thing is that because as per the task, as per the activities, we have changed the project manager. So in this case, it is not possible for us to know who is the responsible for the project. A whole project, nobody is responsible, because the tasks and activities are divided, and for completion of the task and activity, the different managers are appointed, or that is the leading that project. So we are not say that this is the person, a pure person is responsible for that one. Leadership occurs within the functional unit. expertise center. Now in this case, again, one of the drawback we can say that leadership occurs within a functional unit. So we are not giving the exposure to the other department. We are totally depend on the expertise. And again, there definitely there will be the chances of the monopoly and all. Okay. Leadership belongs to the technical expert. So here, obviously, one of the advantage we can say that leadership is belong to the technical expert. The person who is expert in that task and activity become a leader. So it will give the more advantage because he know each and everything about it. Okay. So this is the functional line project organization key characteristics. Now with the help of the example, we can easily understood what exactly mean by functional or the pure line project organization. So top management, the owner or anybody, okay. Then say the department A, department B, and department C is working under the top management. Okay, this is the one example that we are taking how the functional or pure line or project organization work. Now, from the department A, but the one employee is to be second and third employee are there. So this is from the department A. Similarly, from department B, these are the employee. Similarly, from the C, these are the employee. Okay. Now, from this one, who is the project manager? First, we have to ask the question: who become a project manager? Now, the project manager become, as here it is a project manager. So it may be the from employee from the department A. Most of the times the functional manager become a project manager. But many times if the department have a lots of load and that the general manager or the functional manager is not interested to work, then another employee can be employed for as a project manager. But most of the times the leader of the department, that is the manager of the department, become a project manager. So the person who is leading department A become a project manager. Now once the task of the department A is completed, then from the department B, another functional manager become the project manager. Okay. Similarly, once A and B is completed, then the department C, they have the work, they have the expertise in that particular task. Then one of the employee or the functional manager become a project manager. So in this case, we can say the person or the functional manager become a project manager. And who is the team? The team is from the same department. Just like I give the example that civil department or the construction department. So the functional manager of the civil department or the construction department become a project manager and his team is from the same department. Okay. So this is about the functional or pure line project organization. Now let's see what are the advantage and disadvantage of this team. Okay. This is another example that here it is mentioned what the industrial example is given, a pure line or the functional organization. This is the CEO, main person, chief executive officer. The sales department, the engineering department, R&D department, manufacturing, then internal internet and services. Now, if you want to know what is in the market, what is the demand of your product, that time, what you do, you take the person from the sales department become a PM. Now, once this task is over, then you go for the next department, say engineering one. So here, the person who is leading the department become a PM. Once that work is done, then R&D department also be the part of it, become a PM. So from this particular department, anybody can be the PM, depend on what type of the task it is. Okay. So this is about the functional or pure line project organization. Now let's quickly look about the advantages and disadvantage of it. The one of the advantage for this one, reduce the overhead as no extra team members have to be hired. So here we can have save the money because we are not giving the extra salary to the another team or the person because we are utilizing the people from our department. Provides the clearly marked career path for hiring and promotion. Definitely it will be again helpful if that person is doing very well in that project, then he become the leader for that particular project. Okay, so we can easily get the career path from it. Employee work alongside colleagues who share similar interests, therefore the expertise of the team members stay within their department. So many times as the expert teams we are taken, so definitely it will have the person to be higher to be become a expertise in that one. No structural change for the running the project required, where I do not know anything or structural changes. Okay, we have defined the task and accordingly we can have give the people a chance to work in that function which he is interested or he had expertise in that one. Flexibility for the change in the project scope, so we have the lots of flexibility because the expert team is working on it. Now some disadvantage too for this one quickly, it is the coordination of functional tasks is difficult. Provide the scope for the different heads to pass off the company project failures. Slow reaction time. Okay, so these are the some disadvantage. What are that? Coordination of functional tasks is difficult. Many times, we are not said the task which we are given to the particular department, and then we don't need any help from the other department. Yes, we need a help from other department too, and that time it's very difficult to get the coordination because of the many things. We are not discussing that one, but yes, it will be the difficult. Second, provide the scope for different heads to pass off company project failures as being due to the failure of the other departments. Now, as there are the number of functional managers, now nobody take the responsibility of the failure of the project. Or many times when the project is success, everybody is taking the success of the project. So that is one of the drawback here. Slow reaction time as it is the functional one, so we are not quickly get a decision because we need to ask to different people because everybody is the leader of that project, and so you have to have different or long communication chain, and because of that one we will have a the we are not follow the scheduling or the long reaction time means we are not getting properly the answer or the decision for completing the particular task. Okay, so this is all about the disadvantage of the functional or pure line project organization. In the next lecture we will see about the pure project organization. Up till we see about a functional or pure line project organization. Now what is the team in a pure project organization, but yes, that we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.